All right, I now have 2:20 p.m. Mountain Time. So thank you all for your patience. We are back from our IT break. Here to welcome Tim Troutman. He is the Warning Coordination Meteorologist at the Weather Service Forecast Office in Riverton, Wyoming. He comes to us with 30 years of experience, operational aviation forecasting experience, as well as the role of Warning Coordination Meteorologist. And he's going to be here today talking to us about the Riverton Aviation Weather Ready Nation program. Tim, it is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much. It's great to be here talking to you guys today about our Aviation Weather Ready Nation initiative. One thing that we do at the National Weather Service here at Riverton, we put together a product known as a situation report. Most of the offices here in Central Region, it's a regionalized thing, I understand, but we do put together a set of briefing slides that we simply put together the slides in a series, in a slide deck, and we then post them to the front page of our website there, which would be toward the top of the front page of the website, where you see this yellow area. That is the situation report. And the situation report is issued during high-impact severe weather events where we're expecting severe weather or floods, winter storms, and it is a quick glance at involving the what, the where, the when, and the impacts. So just taking a look at a couple of the graphics that are typically on these type of situation reports as we're in the summer months now. This is an example from last summer that we issued as an example for all of our partners, which include all of our airport managers and our airport safety operators at our 9 airports in central and western Wyoming. This situation report is emailed out to all of our partners when we are expecting significant weather hazards. Again, this severe weather outlook example talks about the what, widely scattered strong to severe storms, when they're going to happen, timing-wise, giving a beginning and an end, and then where. And the next slide also talks about, of course, within the slide, what are going to be the main types of severe weather threats, whether it's going to be damaging winds of 70 miles an hour being the main threats in this example, quarter-size hail, localized flash flooding, and even isolated tornadoes in this example. So along with that, then we also talk about briefly toward the end of the slide deck some severe weather safety information and also contact information for our office. So the objective of the Weather Ready Nation program and initiative deals with working with our partners and improving our integrated decision support services. And that entails aiding in pre-event preparation and education with all of our aviation and other related partners, and providing that support during upcoming and ongoing weather events. And that support can be remote in most cases, or also on-site if there's going to be significant events. If the COVID-19 virus and the pandemic had not occurred this year, we would be getting ready for a very large aviation fly-in at the Casper International Airport upcoming June the 8th and 9th, where we're going to be doing on-site weather support for that 2-day event. But, when it comes to IDSS, the main things to keep in mind is our ability to discuss the products that we issue, encouraging that background information when needed. We also each month send out a IDSS Google form to all of our partners, including our aviation airport managers and also the safety folks. And they can apply and send in a request for us to provide any type of weather support for any upcoming activities that could be going on. And we have all 9 of our airport managers and safety personnel on our Google email blast list that we send out the situation reports and also provide the weather support for. And we definitely are communicating frequently with our aviation partners. Here's an example involving our decision support related to the Weather Ready Nation initiative involving an aviation IDSS success, which was the wings and Wheels Air Show over Lander on September 8th, 2018. We provide event support for the organizer of that air show, at least a 30-minute DSS heads-up of storms that would be moving toward the event. The organizers suspended, of course, all the activities at the event due to the strong to potentially severe potential of these storms. We did get verification from the airport observation there at the Lander Airport of wind gusts to 50 miles an hour and P to dime-size hail nearby and at the event. Afterwards, we talked with the event organizer, and he gave us the following feedback of, quote, "If the NWS is calling, it definitely must be serious." So that was, a good testament to our continued focus on weather support for our partners. We also provide, weather information involving as much as we can our aviation discussions, and that can provide also, within the discussion, our aviation section, we also mention, because of the mountain and the terrain effects and obscurations, we also mention in specifics that information when it's needed, of course, for any type of winter or other related aviation hazards, hopefully to ensure that the pilots and our users can utilize this aviation detailed information that will help them to make the best decisions involving their routes. The important part of the Weather Ready Nation Ambassadors involves that Weather Ready Nation Ambassador Program. It's an initiative that allows us to be able to recognize our aviation partners for their efforts. And, we just want to congratulate our Wyoming airports for their weather safety and preparedness efforts. We've crossed our county warning area, our 11-county service area in central western Wyoming, which covers 56,396 square miles. We have recognized 300 Weather Ready Nation ambassadors, and that includes the 5 main airports in central and western Wyoming. So typically, if they sign up and become a Weather Ready Nation ambassador, we do send weather safety and related information about 5 to 10 times a year in advance of awareness weeks and in advance of significant events, so that they'll be better educated to be more weather ready. And part of the Weather Ready Nation Ambassador Program and the Storm Ready initiative and program is, of course, congratulating them for a job well done. It's a great way that we can work with our organization to be better prepared and be as weather ready as possible. So with these different types of, Storm Ready and Weather Ready Nation Ambassador co-designations and congratulation efforts, we typically do a ceremony, and we take some pictures, and we try to get as much of the media at the event so that we can give them kudos for a job well done. This is a shot of our county forecast and warning area. We forecast and warn for 11 counties from up around Park County to Teton, Lincoln, Sweetwater, over to Natrona, up to Johnson County. And all 11 of our counties are storm ready, and all of our major airports, we've worked really hard over the years to ensure that they're as prepared as possible and are storm ready. And also Weather Ready Nation ambassadors. So involving the Storm Ready initiative for the airports, we took the template initially that was put together in Natrona County for the Casper Airport, and I just want to show you an example of what the Riverton Regional Airport put together involving their severe weather emergency plan. So there is 8 sections of that severe weather and related emergency plan. Definitions of what is severe weather, of course, what's a watch, a warning within their plan. Communications, how are they going to receive weather warning information? How are they going to broadcast that weather warning information to the folks that are at the location? What are they going to activate for? Tornadoes, tornado watches, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, of course. What are going to be in Section 4, the local warning dissemination time frame for them at the airport, outside of normal business hours, what would happen, for any of the workers or folks that are still left over, what type of warning information would they receive during that time period. We would talk about, obviously the important thing of public safety and how they would let that warning information be disseminated at the airport through loudspeaker announcements, as an example. Designating the safety zones in Section 5, looking at the operational plan and, how they would be notified involving any potential severe weather, how they would be activated, and how they would monitor that information. And further, what would happen involving, of course, the evacuation processes if needed, if there's a tornado warning or a tornado indicated or extensive damaging winds, and how they would do an assessment and also report any damage if it did happen at the airport, and how we would get that information at the National Weather Service. So when we do designate an entity such as an airport as storm ready, what I do is it varies from office to office, but I typically, since we can't give out plaques anymore because of the rules, I typically provide them with a certificate in a nice binder, and we also provide them with an example of this is an example of a storm ready recognition letter that was put together, and that's a way that we can give them kudos for a job well done. We also work closely with our aviation partners involving lightning safety. Wyoming typically has been in the top 10 nationwide involving lightning injuries and fatalities per capita population each year, so since the 1950s. So we work closely with our aviation partners involving the Lightning Safety Toolkit project, and so far we've had 5 airports that have placed these lightning safety signs at designated locations at the airport for the public to get this safety information, and also behind the scenes there along the flight lines near there, so that the safety folks and other folks that are workers there, they can be reminded that if there's thunder nearby, you need to stop activities and move indoors to a safe point and wait as close as you can to 30 minutes after the storm has passed to resume normal activities. So the Lightning Safety Toolkit, we've utilized the vendor method, in which when lightning is detected within 15 miles of the venues, and that weather watcher then will begin to notify the folks there at the airport locally that there's a storm nearby. And then what happens when it gets to within 12 miles, and then by the time it's within 8 miles, they definitely need to be in their safe location. So other potential collaborative projects that we have worked on with our aviation interest at the airport is a lot of the airlines, we've told them about our point-and-click forecast and our related 7-day forecast that we can get off the website that's printable. And at a lot of our airports here in central and western Wyoming, they do print that out daily and put it in a kiosk or also on a monitor there, so that folks can read the detailed forecast from the National Weather Service. We've worked closely with airports involving all hazards, involving exercises. To each airport in our area has to do at least one exercise a year, and our participation involving those exercises has been to develop the appropriate all-hazard warning information that we can share as an inject to the exercise leaders, so that they can know, as an example with this active shooter that event exercise, we can provide them with specific information that would be provided and also put into the exercise, so that folks can utilize this information from the National Weather Service, since we are part of the emergency alert system, of course. And in this case, it would be a civil danger warning to alert folks that this is a dangerous situation, and at that point you'd want to stay away from the airport until the episode is ended. So that would be a way that we can alert people to this action. Here's another picture of an example of a real exercise that they did at the Yellowstone Cody Airport involving a bomb exercise. And this was a bomb that was detonated, even had participants there that were really, participating. with fake blood and all that on there. So we participate by providing these warning injects to tell folks to stay away from the airport until all is clear. And then within the exercise, we provided an all clear through emergency management, who provided this information to us for conveyance via the emergency alert system. That's the objective. We also have worked closely with our local airports and our aviation interest and aviation enthusiasts, involving developing a pilot aerial storm damage survey project with them. And we've put these, developed and printed out and put these posters at the area airports so that any aviation groups or folks like that, they can, if they're interested, they can definitely work with us at the National Weather Service, because here in Wyoming we have such a large area. You know, a lot of these tornadoes, if they do happen, the smaller ones even, they're definitely outside of roads to where we can't get to them. And if they can do flyovers for us, that would be great, and it helps us by providing them with Latin lines of where we think the tornado moved across. We can then, with that information, they can fly across those areas and let us know if they see any and can take pictures of any potential areas where there could be damage. So we've just began this project this year, have not had a chance to try it out yet, but I'm sure there will be an opportunity soon. We also work closely with our airport managers and other safety personnel to ensure that they're set up with NWS chat, and that goes into play with the Storm Ready project to ensure that they can have various and more than one method to receive warnings from the National Weather Service. And we set them